This is not something that I normally cover on the channel, but I thought it was interesting enough and it came with a bit of extra info that I felt like sharing. But this has to do with a recent Melee tournament that was held. I believe it was called the CEO tournament. Today we are talking about two individuals. One is named Hungrybox and the other is named Cody Schwab. Hungrybox is a super well-known player because he has been like a top player of Melee for a very long time. And his character that he plays right here is Jigglypuff. He's a Jigglypuff main, and he is insane at Jigglypuff. That is why he's so popular. He's a professional player of it, and he performs very well. So this is how Smash works. You haven't seen it. Your characters, he's this other individual's playing Fox here, and he's playing Jigglypuff. And during this, you're going to see the gentleman in the top right corner is going to kind of panic and freak out. And Hungrybox is going to look over to him, and there's going to be a weird confusion, and it seems like no one's really moving. And then you're going to see Hungrybox on Jigglypuff just kind of start smacking him up. And Cody, the person on the right here, is not super happy about that.
Cody off of him in that situation. Back off stage, trying to stay safe.
Something happened?
Oh boy.
I think they scared each other. I'm not sure.
Oh no.
What happened?
No controller issue right now.
What are you doing? What's going on?
What is happening? There is some sort of malfunction.
So it's a bit confusing, right? Can't quite tell exactly what's going on there. It just seems like Cody's freaking out. Hungrybox doesn't seem to think that whatever's happening is as serious. As you can tell, as they are playing, he proceeds to continue to smack the shit out of Cody. He smacks his character off the stage, and then he comes down and does it again, and this causes him to freak out even more. Very upset about, like, what the hell is going on? You can hear it, actually, the announcers pointed out.
Issue right now.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? I freak out. People are thinking that it's a controller issue. Kinda. It's kind of a controller issue, but not really. Cody has a lot of excuses for what happened here. There's a little bit of maybe they come to an agreement on one of the points here that caused an issue, but I also have a different angle to show you guys, so maybe we can understand here. But other people obviously were posting about this. This is one of the first ones that I had seen. Someone had kind of retweeted the first one I showed you. Sorry, the story here is that Cody got overwhelmed and asked for a quick reset in the middle of game 15. What are we talking about? This is like literally the finals. But so we see a new angle of chairgate. Apparently this had to do with the chairs. And you're going to notice, so apparently on this stage, it was a bit more rickety than normal stages that they play on. And you're going to see that Hungrybox, notorious for popping off, pops off a little, kind of gets up in his chair, kind of gets excitable and whatnot. And that is what disrupts Cody, apparently. Apparently, it fucked with his controller a bit. You see that? I'll play it again.
What?
Not much happened at this other angle. He jumped up a little. He shook a bit. But there's nothing. Like, there's nothing. So he's like trying to talk to him. This, again, game 15. This is a crazy tournament. This is the finals. This is very high stakes. So obviously it's not making a whole lot of sense. Apparently it was like the movement and stuff. I want to go back a little bit in the timeline here. This is before that final set is happening. Cody is hopping on Twitter. I'm so sorry for the horrendous gameplay I'm showing right now. There's apparently some bug in Florida lettuce that I likely caught, and I've just been puking and going to the bathroom for the last 12 hours. I'll try my hardest to lock in and give you guys some good gameplay, but I physically don't know what I have in me right now. So starting with this is an explanation of like maybe why they were looking the best or performing their best. For the people asking about game 15, this is what happened. HBox got a little too hype and it shook the hell out of my chair, but I also don't think I would have won anyways. I just asked for a reset given that I got completely thrown off. Genuinely, no harm, no foul. People were thinking he also did shit himself midway. Doesn't appear to be the case. He said it really shook his chair. Let's just take a look again. It didn't look like it. The chair didn't seem to move. Maybe it did. Maybe it moved a little bit. Taking Cody's word for it at the very least. And so Hungrybox ends up clearing the air himself. He goes on record and explains some of it. And let's just play this clip here.
A lot of times you guys will see something and assume something, whatever it might be, because you don't have all the information, and it's not your fault. We are not provided all the information very often in this strange era of social media and fucking misinformation and AI.
Yep.
And a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this too, I'm forced to make my own conclusion. And when I make my own conclusion, sometimes it's at the cost of someone's psyche or goodwill. But I want to tell everyone right now, that is what Cody told me. He got startled, he wanted a reset, and he conceded the victory. Well, not conceded, he just told me regardless, like, you were the better player today. And that was it. We hung out all weekend. Yeah. I housed him. We went to a fucking water park together. And that was it.
Got startled and he wanted to like reset, go neutral. Go neutral just being like they just kind of like reline up on the stage. This seems to be that's what happened. He got startled. So then we kind of moved to this next post here by Cody. Before I go live later, I want to make something clear after talking to a few people. I know I'm not perfect. I'm painfully well aware I don't handle things correctly a lot of the time, and that I have a nasty tendency to be hyper defensive in the face of criticism. I do sincerely apologize for that. Regardless of what your take on Sunday was, it's something I've dealt with for my entire life and will continue to attempt to, and all I can promise is that I'll always try my best to keep improving, but from an outsider's perspective especially, I completely get how weird that looks. Sometimes I try to rationalize feelings out of defensiveness instead of giving credence to other people's viewpoints, and that's not right. So I'm sorry, and I'll keep trying to work on it. Recognizing his faults, notice that he's being very defensive about the situation at hand. Totally fair. Well, the next day, he streams, and he explains what happened during the CEO Grand Finals with Hungrybox. And it's not the same argument. It's not the same. I'll just let you guys listen.
The TLDR was more screaming, but I didn't want people to get on his case for the Mike Haze rule. So I said it was mostly the chair, which was true. It did vibrate the shit out of my controller. But realistically, that was not the main reason. I was trying to avoid any discourse on the Mike Haze rule. That one was an easier way out, I felt, for Juan, because it wasn't a direct violation of any rule and wasn't really going to spark controversy for him. Do you think the convo would have been different if you won? It would have been way worse. I'm so happy I lost after this reset. I cannot imagine the lashback if I won this tournament. Yeah, and it's also like, people are asking why I wouldn't call over TL, bro. You know how much HBox has done for this scene? HBox has been the MVP of Smash as a whole.
He's done so much. Like, why would I call a T over? Like, effectively a ref because of this Mike Haze rule. Let's see what is the Mike Haze rule. It comes from a gentleman who was named Mike Haze. A rule that prohibits players from yelling and making abrupt and loud noise to disrupt their opponents after yelled loudly numerous times during a money match versus Hillian. So he was doing it with the intent to disrupt his opponent. Instead of Cody talking about, oh, it was the chair, he vibrated my controller and whatnot, he was claiming that it actually had to do with the yelling. And as a matter of fact, he uses another excuse to talk about why the yelling was disrupting him, or I should say explanation. I'm not trying to poison the well too much here. I'm about to in a moment, though.
The last thing I want to do is rob him of a win that I know he deserved because of a technicality that freaked me out because I'm extremely food poisoned. That's the last thing I'm trying to do there, man. He has been the MVP of this scene for the last 6 years. Like, how fucking self-absorbed would I have to be to DQ him for screaming? My nerves were shot. The reason I freaked out over this was just the fucking food poisoning and lack of sleep, man. Like, on a normal day, I think I just tank it and go on and I get mildly annoyed afterwards. Genuinely. I think on a normal day, I'm probably a little annoyed, but I probably play through it and just whatever. Afterwards, I'll probably yell at him like, you cocksucker, stop fucking screaming it next to me in bracket. Like, that's probably the extent of it.
So it's because he was poisoned. It's because of the Taco Bell lettuce, right? It's because of, XYZ. He was more prone to getting upset and freaking out about it. And he didn't want to invoke this rule that is a technicality. And it's like, okay, sure, for me. And please tell me I'm wrong in the comments, things like that. It comes off as like, isn't this a bit more self-absorbent that like you had this moment about yourself and then now you're talking about it like he deserved the win. I wasn't going to take that away from him because of this technicality, which he was at fault for, like this Mike Haze rule. Based on how the rule is described, I don't know if it's saying don't yell or don't do these things at all. It's saying don't do that with the intention of disrupting your opponent. I'm not super well versed. I don't know CEOs, tournaments, like rulings and how that's set up. This feels like he's kind of, putting himself in a position to allow a Hungrybox to win the tournament that he deserved to win. And so for me, that just feels a bit weird. Feels a bit, I don't know if you're really making the point that you think you are. And then this is like additionally to that.
Look how crappy I look in this player cam, man. Like, I have diagnosed autism, diagnosed complex post-traumatic stress disorder. One of my biggest fucking stressors for CPTSD is screaming. And I'm on 36 hours of no sleep and no food while I'm food poisoned. I fainted after winners, not actually fainted, but I collapsed after winners finals off stage. Biotoss, it's passion, and I get it. I think at the end of the day, you just have to separate the competitors.
Again, curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. He comes up with a lot of reasons as to why he ended up doing what he did. And just like a lot of cope. And he's being respectful. He's like, Hungrybox deserved to win it anyway, despite those things. So that's good. I know things about this individual because I really enjoy Smash Brothers drama. Gotta shout out somebody. This is Technicals. I've met him at VidCon a couple times. Dude's awesome. I was a huge fan of his videos for a long time. And that's because he did a lot of stuff, a lot of videos about the Smash community. And one of these included Cody. And there was some crazy shit that Cody had done, that Cody had claimed, that he ended up walking back later. And so when it comes to trusting someone like this, I have a hard time doing so because I know a lot more about it than most people do. One of these things, and brace yourselves, Cody lied about an allegation he made in regard to his mother graping him. He ends up walking this back. People don't seem to remember him walking it back, but they remember the allegation that he made. Some of the tweets are still up. So he makes this claim. He's like, I told my father about my mother finally. There's so much more about this. This is not something that I am interested in like diving deep down the rabbit hole for, but I did bring up some stuff to kind of show. This is someone had made this post. I figured I would highlight a few commonly overlooked tidbits regarding Cody's claims since it's come up again. Hax is another individual. They actually unfortunately ended up taking their own life. They were part of the Smash community. There's a huge long story about all of this. Again, Tech has incredible videos going over this stuff. I'd recommend checking them out. When Cody told Hax the fake mom story, it wasn't some freak accident where Cody awkwardly blurted something out in the midst of a tense moment. In Cody's 2020 Twitlonger, he explicitly states that he had been using the story for several years in order to manipulate his fellow community members into liking him. Here is that Twitlonger. Coming to terms with myself and my own story. The past few weeks, I've been forced to do a lot of reflecting on my life. I want to preface my story by saying I don't want any sympathy. In the past few years, I've lied to, manipulated, invaded the privacy and trust of people that I didn't even realize how much I cared about and who gave me everything and every chance in ways that I can't imagine how much I hurt them, etc., etc. Even if she didn't make any comments, I was 14, she was 40-something. I tried coming out a few times to people and even lied to make the details seem way worse than they were because I thought it was the only way I'd get acceptance for it. And was met with, you were 14, you knew what you were doing. What the fuck, dude? You effed your mom? I lied about having sex because I thought it would make it seem more in my favor, etc. He ends up admitting that that was the case. This is all already played out. And so he self-imposed a 3-month ban after all of this, after he admitted to lying about all of it. So needless to say, I have a negative view of Cody. To lie about something like that for the sake of garnering sympathy or garnering respect or trying to feel included in a group is literally insane. I can't really look at it any other way. When you can so effortlessly lie about something as serious as that, I can't really trust you to be honest about anything else. And when you make as many excuses as you do about like the finals and stuff, it is so hard to trust anything that you're saying. Pathological liar. People aren't a big fan of him because of that. But that brings this video to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a thumbs up. Consider hyping the video as well, as it does a tremendous amount of work in helping my video in the algorithm. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Helps us get one step closer to that sweet, sweet gold play button. But thank you so much for watching. Listen to my stuff on Spotify, link in the description, and I'll catch you guys later. Adios. Peace. Bye.